Youth Red Cross Committee mark the commencement of today's program on International Red Cross Day. Program This webinar is scheduled as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Starting any event without the blessings of the God of wisdom is worthless. Therefore, I request Risha to present the invocation song. That was outstandingly solacing. Thank you, Shrisha. I now solicit
Thank you, Sisha.
Sanjana to welcome the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. I, Sanjana S., the Executive Head of Youth Red Cross, welcome you all to the virtual gathering on the occasion of International Red Cross Day with the theme Unstoppable Service. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. One such leader is our principal. It's a great honor to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar Sir, who is a role model to many of us and has always inspired us. I'm glad to welcome the guest speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Kumar VLS Sir, who is the Vice Chairman of Indian Red Cross Society, Karnataka State Band. I also take an opportunity to welcome all the HODs of various departments, including languages, coordinators, all the teaching and non-teaching staffs, technical team, participants, and all my fellow YRC members. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjana. I heartily wish you all a very happy International Red Cross Day. On this day, let us pledge to alleviate human suffering, to protect life and dignity, to be a responsible citizen of the Republic of India, to conform the objectives and policies of the Red Cross Society and its 7 principles: humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, voluntary service, unity, and universality, and to be in the service of humanity at all times. I request you all to have active participation till the end, as we will be mailing you the feedback forms through which you will receive your e-certificates. This pandemic is defining the global health crisis of our time and the greatest challenge we are facing today. We pay a heartfelt condolences to the lives lost and their families. More power to the warriors helping us to fight this situation. We bow down to their unstoppable service. You heard it right. The theme for this webinar is Unstoppable Service. The aim is to celebrate the determination and resilience of Red Cross staff and volunteers despite COVID-19 and to convey a message of determination and unity in the world. At the end of the webinar, we will make sure to give you an opportunity to serve the society. Stay connected. Now, I entreat Yashaswini to give us a brief introduction on International Red Cross Day.
Good evening, one and all present here. I, Yashaswini, Executive Head of Youth Red Cross Committee. World Red Cross Day is celebrated to create a peaceful environment across the world. The Red Cross Society is a worldwide, well known, universally accepted, admired, and internationally identified humanitarian service organization. It is the biggest independent, non religious, non political, non sectarian, and voluntary relief organization, treating people equally all over the world without any discrimination as to their nationality, race, and religion beliefs. World Red Cross Day is also known as Red Crescent Day, is celebrated on May 8th every year. This date marks the birth anniversary of Henry Dunant, the father of Red Cross movement and recipient of Nobel Award for Peace in 1901. It was established in 1863 in Geneva, Switzerland. Henry Dunant was a successful businessman. While going on a business mission in 1862, Dunant wrote a book, A Memory of Solferino, which paved the way for the First Geneva Conference in 26 October 1863. The Geneva Society for Public Welfare considered the Dunant's proposal, which was mentioned in the book, and convey a multinational conference for implementing them. The Red Cross, born for a desire to bring assistance without discrimination to the wounded on the battlefield, endeavors in its international and national capacity to prevent and alleviate human suffering from disasters. Its purpose is to protect life and health and to ensure respect for the human being. Over the years, the organization has defined its own principles: humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, a voluntary nature, unity, and universality, and has tried to bring them to each part of the world where humanitarian aid is or has been needed, with humanity towards peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Yashaswini. We are really proud to be a part of this committee. I now enjoin Tejaswini to give us a brief introduction on our principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar sir.
Being a good leader isn't about having power over others, but about instilling power in others. Good evening, one and all present here. Myself, Tejaswini G, Joint Secretary of Youth Red Cross Club. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce Dr. S. Anil Kumar Sir, Principal, SSMRV College. He has experience of 38 years in academic field of commerce and management and has more than 21 years of research experience in recognized guide for many universities for MPhil and PhD programs, and also produced 6 PhDs and 30 MPhils from various UGC sponsored projects. Sir has published articles in leading national and international conferences and authored 18 books in the area of financial accounting, chartered accounting, service marketing, entrepreneurship development, production and operation management, and GST. The reflection of his hard work and commitment has transformed into various awards, such as Sir was awarded for dedicated service as a teacher conferred by His Excellence Dr. Hansraj Bharadwaj, the Governor of Karnataka, organized by Rotary Bangalore South and Karnataka Civil Defence Corps. He was awarded for achieving excellence in education from Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust. He has received Dr. Abdul Kalam Gold Medal from Global Economic Progress and Research Association, New Delhi. For individual achievement and distinguished services in education and research, he has also been awarded D.Litt from the University of Panama, USA. Coming back to his key focus areas within SSMRV, he is a visionary leader who works passionately to revamp education system and has developed a unique model called 360-degree education for wholeness model with five-dimensional approach that caters to the holistic development of an individual. SSMRV College has recently been ranked fourth among top 5 colleges in India for best value for money MRDA survey to 2018, 2019, and 2020. The list is endless. Due respect to time, let me contain my few words about Dr. S. Anil Kumar Sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Tejaswini.
Yeah, thank you, Tejaswini.
Sir is indeed a source of motivation. We once again welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Following by this, I would request our principal to say a few words on this day.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah. Good evening. I'm really happy to be here for this particular webinar organized by our Youth Red Cross Center of our college, SSMRV College. And I appreciate this initiative taken by the coordinator of Youth Red Cross, Professor Vidya, the entire team of office bearers, President, Secretary, Treasurer, and all the members of Youth Red Cross of SSMRV College, and for organizing this and inviting a very resourceful person and eminent speaker and very apt personality for the day. That is, we are celebrating today the International Red Cross Day. And that too, a very nice topic, unstoppable service. And really, on behalf of SSMRV College and the RV educational institutions, I would like to once again welcome Dr. Kumar for having accepted our invitation to be the resource person for today's program, to motivate our students and you can help them in providing service to this humanity. Of course, Red Cross is doing a wonderful service to the humanity, and especially during this kind of pandemic, really their services are very much required. I think they are doing extremely good in all over India, and that is, I think, a lot of new students who are registered should know more about the Red Cross, and this seminar or this webinar will definitely motivate our youngsters to become active members of Youth Red Cross initiative and to be part of their activities. That is the intention of organizing this particular program, and also to celebrate International Red Cross Day. I wish all of you a very happy International Red Cross Day on this occasion. So once again, I would like to welcome Dr. Kumar for accepting to be the resource person for today's program, and also appreciate the entire team of SSMRV College in organizing this particular program. We are in SSMRV, as you know, we are having about 30 activity centers for holistic development of students, and Youth Red Cross wing of SSMRV is one of the vibrant center which organizes many programs in our institution. So I lot appreciation from my side for all the students who are part of this great the activities of this great institution. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to greet our convener, Vidya ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce. It's our pleasure to have you, ma'am. As a diversion to the event, I would like to give you certain information about the COVID vaccine in India. Vaccination for COVID-19 is voluntary. However, it is advisable to receive the complete schedule of COVID-19 for protecting oneself against the disease to the close contacts, including family members, friends, relatives, and co-workers. Covishield or Covaxin. There is no head-to-head comparison done between the two vaccines being used in India. So one cannot choose one over the other. Now, we will be providing you a link in the chat box to register yourself for vaccination.
Wow,
I now
excellent.
request, thank you, sir. I now request Chaitra Anand to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Kumar sir, to the gathering.
An evening is the pause button that gives you a breather before you jump from one day to another. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Chaitra Anand, Joint Secretary of Red Cross Committee, extend a warm welcome to all on this International Red Cross Day. I find immense pleasure in introducing our chief guest, Dr. Kumar VLS sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to introduce our special guest speaker, Mr. Kumar sir. He is presently serving as international level master trainer on disaster management and emergency responses on Red Cross. He has also been a part of National and South Asia Regional Disaster Response Team. He is a vice chairman of Indian Red Cross Society, Karnataka State Branch. He is a resource person of disaster management of Government of Karnataka Administrative Training Institute, AIT Mysore. He has undergone various trainings such as 9 levels of field training on disaster management at Red Cross Central Training Institute, New Delhi. Also an international level emergency team leader training at Denmark in 2018 and national level master trainer training course on first aid and emergency responses by Red Cross and was qualified as a national level master trainer on emergency responses. Sir has been deployed and worked in various disaster relief operations across the nation. He has served in Uttarakhand Flood Relief Operation 2013, Assam Flood Relief 2014, Chennai Flood Relief 2015, Kerala and Coorg Flood Relief 2017, and so on. As a master trainer, he has participated in many international training and many national level training and trained thousands of volunteers on life-saving skills and first aid. Dr. Kumar is honored with International Level Humanitarian Champion Award of the year 2018 by International Red Cross and was honored with Dr. Ratan Memorial Award in 2001. And today he is with us to share his thoughts and ideas about his experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitra. We indeed have a lot to learn from Sir. I now request Kumar Sir to address the virtual gathering.
Good evening, everyone. Respected Principal Sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Respected Program Officer of SSRMV College.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. And respected Youth Red Cross Committee members, office bearers of the Youth Red Cross unit of SSMRV College. So thank you for inviting me for this important program held on the occasion of the World Red Cross Day. It's indeed a very important day for the Red Cross because, as you know, that internationally 8th May is observed as a International World Red Cross Day. So I'll be briefing about the importance of the day, followed by the current challenges what we are facing due to the COVID also. I'll be sharing one presentation, and in the presentation we will be going in detail about the various aspects related to the challenges, the current challenges related to the COVID, and what role the youth can play to protect yourself as well as protecting others or volunteering your services in such a crisis. So once again, I thank the Principal Sir and all the office bearers of Youth Red Cross Unit and the faculty members also. Today, this is a third session, as I think one of the member also was telling, like it is a third session of the day. Yes, sir. For me also, it's a third session. Morning we had for Scouts and Guides, and afternoon we had for Haley College, and this one will be the third session. Yeah. So thank you for organizing such a wonderful program on the occasion of the World Red Cross Day. And I'll be briefing already. I think one of your Youth Red Cross Committee member has briefed about the importance of the day and the objectives of the day regarding the theme related to the World Red Cross Day. Red Cross, when it was started in the year 1863, so the origin of the Red Cross, if you go back, it was due to the war, to help the injured soldiers in the war. There was a war, the War of Solferino in 1859. To help the injured soldiers, the great person, that is Jean Henry Dunant, motivated the local people to volunteer, to help the people without any discrimination. And injured soldiers were treated for months together. And after that, he convinced the nation to sign for the Geneva Convention. And the Geneva Convention officially gave complete what I can say the status for the official status for the International Red Cross and Red Cross. So presently the Red Cross is having a presence in more than 190 countries in the world, and Red Cross is the largest international humanitarian organization serving in cases of any crisis, during disasters, or during a situation like pandemic. So allow me to share my presentation. I'll be briefly telling you about the various challenges as well as about the various issues related to the COVID.
So you can start presenting, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, give me a moment.
Why don't we do a song together? Let's submerge it. Yes.
What is that?
RCV.
I request the participants to mute themselves.
Okay. Can you able to see the presentation now?
No, sir.
Yeah, it will take a moment.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you. And regarding the current challenges, the World Red Cross Day today, it's actually occasion to celebrate because the reason is we have completed the Indian Red Cross Society Karnataka State Branch.
What are you doing?
I request the participant to mute their mic.
I think host, please. Host.
We
can,
have removed
Yeah.
them. We have removed
Yeah.
them.
Please,
Okay.
yeah. Please take care of all such things. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So today is an important day for the Red Cross in the Karnataka state because we have completed 100 years in the humanitarian service. Indian Red Cross Society Karnataka state branch was formed in the year 1920 and 1921, and we completed 100 years, and it's a very important occasion today. But we didn't celebrate this day. We observed this day by providing so many service-related activities. The two important services which we provided, which I can recollect today. Just now, we handed over nearly 50 oxygen concentrators to various hospitals at Bangalore. As you know, that oxygen concentrators is a need of the hour. Oxygen concentrators is a machine which can produce, which can absorb the environmental oxygen, and which can be given to a COVID-19 patient. And the one more important activity that was done yesterday. There was a crisis day before yesterday due to lack of oxygen to the COVID-19 patients in Karnataka. And with the approach of the Indian Red Cross Society National Headquarters, Government of India, and we could able to get oxygen from Bahrain, and that oxygen was sent through the ship, the warship INS Talwar, from Bahrain to the Mangalore port. And day before yesterday, we received it, and that was supplied to the that was donated to the Indian Red Cross Society Karnataka state branch, nearly 40 tons of liquid oxygen, which was handed over to the government and which will be provided to the various hospitals across the government. The reason why I'm telling this is,
Very nice, sir.
yes, sir. The reason why I'm mentioning about these two important activities, nearly 150 years before when the Red Cross was started, and it was started with the pain, there were hundreds of people who were dying and about to die, and Jean Henry Dunant provided them services, and the Red Cross was started to provide a service or a first aid or probably help to the injured soldiers. And presently, the situation is exactly same after 150 years. We are seeing so many people dying. We are seeing more than 4 lakh cases being reported yesterday alone in the last 24 hours who have tested positive with the COVID. And Bangalore alone, more than 25,000 cases are being reported. And more than that, the situation is severe, worse. And what I can say is, like, the people are not getting able to get the admission in the hospital. The people are unable to get the oxygen, people are unable to get the medicines, people are unable to get the vaccine. So we are in the 21st century, and we never thought that the India will be facing a situation like this, where the people have to stand in a queue to cremate the dead bodies of their relatives or the family members. So we are passing through a worst possible scenario, or I can say a disaster-like situation that India has never faced. So we, means to say, the Youth Red Cross Unit and the volunteers of Youth Red Cross Unit and the Red Cross has got an obligation and responsibility to respond to this situation. And I request even youth volunteers who are attending this program to take care of yourself, take care of the other members, the family members, protect yourself first. And if you want to volunteer your services in the COVID response, definitely there are various opportunities to provide the service. I will be informing probably at the end of this session if you want to volunteer your session, how you can do that. So before that, there are two parts of this session. First, I will be sensitizing you about the COVID. First, I will be sensitizing you about basically on the Red Cross movement, followed by the current challenges faced in the COVID. So about the importance of the day, which is already mentioned, the World Red Cross and Red Crescent Day is observed on the 8th May. It is a birthday of the founder of Red Cross, Jean Henry Dunant, Swiss businessman, and who was instrumental and very, what I can say, the person behind starting the Red Cross movement in the 18th century. And he was awarded with the Nobel Peace Prize when it was started in the year 1901. And Red Cross, the largest humanitarian organization in the world, has been awarded with a Nobel Peace Prize for 3 times for the services they have rendered during the World War and during the pandemic, and at the same time during the disaster. So today is an occasion to remember the great personality who was behind starting this movement. In Red Cross, International Red Cross is recognized with the symbol of Red Cross and Red Crescent. In some countries, the emblem is Red Crescent, but in India, we have the Red Cross. So International Red Cross will be having both the emblem, and this signifies neutrality, humanity, impartiality, and unity among the various nations which is working towards humanity. So basically about the Red Cross is, we are working in 4 core areas during a peacetime. That is about disaster preparedness, disaster response, first aid, and healthcare. That is the main activity of Red Cross. And at the national level, the President of India is the President of the Red Cross Society. At the state level, the Governor of the Karnataka or the Governor of the state will be heading the organization, and there will be a managing body headed by a chairman, and other managing body members will be looking after the day-to-day activities of the Red Cross. At the district level, the deputy commissioners are the head of the organization, and the main objective of the Red Cross is to provide the humanitarian services, to prevent, to alleviate the human suffering, and to manage the human sufferings whenever it is seen during a time of disaster or during time of the war also. So this is about the Red Cross, and I will be briefing about the what challenges we are facing, the current challenges we are facing today due to the COVID. So this is actually a session not related to the COVID but I'll be focusing more of the topic, my presentation, about the COVID. The reason is the biggest challenge which we are facing today is due to the COVID only. And we, the Red Cross, should be basically sensitized, and it is very good that you have mentioned about the vaccination drive, and already there is a link which has been provided to enroll the people for the vaccination. So basically, to start with, if we analyze the situation, the current situation of the COVID crisis in the country, more than 4 lakh COVID positive cases have been reported in the country. And it's the highest ever recorded in one day, and the statistics is going up. I don't know when we will reach the peak and when the probably the number of cases will come down. But the situation is very, very grim, and at this situation we have to take measures. Everyone has got a responsibility to take measures to protect ourselves, protect your family, protect your community, and protect the others as well. So this situation last year we have not seen. Presently, you may have heard about the news saying that there is a lack of a bed facility at the hospital. There is a lack of oxygen. There is a lack of medicine, lack of vaccine. If you look into this problem, this is not due to the present crisis. It is due to the population rise. Population rise. The population of India is so high that if the number of cases, the 4 lakh cases last year, the highest ever recorded case was 80 to 90,000. Now it is. Now it is.
Sorry, sir.
No problem.
It's a warning to all the students to mute themselves, else strict action will be taken against them. Please stay muted.
Yeah. I request the students who are participating, please be kind to others. And if you're not interested, you can leave the meeting instead of troubling and disturbing others. And we are in a situation where people are dying. Thousands of people are dying, and it appears like it's a fun for you, this webinar. If you're not interested, kindly leave. Don't disturb the others. Okay. Fine. So if you analyze the situation of the current the crisis, if you look into the history of the pandemics in the past, there are many pandemics which has affected the world, and the mankind has won over it. And if you remember, way back in 1919, there was a swine flu, and there was a swine flu-like situation, swine flu, which has killed probably millions of people during the past. So every pandemic has got a probably, I can say, a peak, and followed by a peak there will be it will become an endemic, and the disease may be completely extinct from the community. So looking into the issues now, the current scenario, there is a lack of bed, there is a lack of facilities, there is a lack of infrastructure, there is a lack of everything. And if you switch on the news, the people are start blaming the government and other people. If you look into the real issues now, so we need to control the number of people being affected with the COVID, and then only we can control the scenario. And if you look into why this is happening, why this problem, the current scenario, if you look into the infrastructure the country is having, the number of beds which is available in our country per 10,000 people is around 7 only, and number of physicians are around 9 only. If you look into this information, it's very shocking to know that this official information given by Ministry of Health, which says that there are 7 beds which are available for 10,000 people. And if the pandemic is so high, if there is sudden escalation of the cases, definitely there will be lack of hospital facility, lack of the physician, lack of the medics and paramedics as well. So we need to respond. And oxygen is a superhero, as you know that this is the only superhero that has prevented, that has controlled the situation. Even in the first wave also, it has saved thousands and thousands of lives in the past. And it's not the remdesivir, it's not any other medicine which is superhero. Oxygen is a superhero. And what I can advise you, take care of yourself, and to please do some exercise at your home to enhance your lung capacity, the carrying capacity, the holding capacity of your lungs to absorb more oxygen. So what I am advising you is practice pranayama when you are at home, when you are healthy, because oxygen is a very important thing, very important for our body. And if you practice pranayama or a deep breathing exercise, if you know the deep breathing exercise, it's a very simple exercise, taking a deep breath in, holding for 2 seconds and breathing out. If you do that simple exercise, that will improve your holding capacity of your lungs with oxygen. It's not for the patients, it is for a healthy individual to prevent infection, healthy individual to protect themselves during such situation. So now it's a lockdown. Now it's a lockdown, and most of the youth are busy in watching the movies, busy in spending their time playing games. busy probably doing something which is unrelevant. So what I can advise you is, you can imagine this lockdown as a vacation given to you to stay at home and to relax. So when you want to relax, you need to have a very good sleep. 8 hours of sleep is recommended. To have a good health, 8 to 10 hours of sleep is a must. Sleep, well, sleep is the best medicine for most of the illness, and sleep will make you your immunity also very strong. Next thing, the next 8 hours, what you have to do is you need to do the workout, you need to do the exercise, you need to do the activities which may be probably helping the public by not forwarding the fake messages or not forwarding the messages which are false, which can create a panic among the society. So most of you, what you will do is in the WhatsApp, if you get some sensational news about a COVID, or if you get some videos without verifying whether it's genuine or not, you tend to forward that. Don't do that. So 8 hours of sleep is required, 8 hours of entertainment, 8 hours with the remaining activities at home. With the staying at home, you can do many activities which can support, which can help other people. Probably doing a counseling for a person who is affected with a COVID positive, or probably speaking to someone who is so afraid of the present scenario, because it has created a panic like situation to everyone. Okay, so oxygen is a superhero. Please understand that a person can live without the food for 2 days. He can live, the person can live without water for 1 day, but a person cannot live without oxygen for 2 minutes also. So please understand that health is very important. Take care about your health. And nowadays, the new cases that is reported are not elderly people, it is youngsters aged between 25 to 40 years of age are being affected with the COVID positive, and they are succumbing to they are dying to the COVID infection, not due to the infection, but due to the fear they have in their mind, due to the panic reaction they have. So please understand, if someone tested positive for COVID, don't be what I can say, don't be panic. So you have to follow the basic hygiene measures which is advised. Take the medicine, stay at home, take the medicines properly, and follow the good oral hygiene, follow the good respiratory hygiene, follow the correct procedures that has been advised by you. Definitely the person will recover. So the reason why I'm showing this slide is, please understand the situation is very grim, and don't think that the government is doing a lockdown for some. Don't roam around without any work or without any probably we can see many people roaming around in the city without not having properly any important reason. If you have some emergency, definitely you can go outside, but otherwise stay inside. So please remember your zone. If you are at home, you are at the green zone. If you are in a vehicle or in your personal office or something like that, so you are in an orange zone. Otherwise, remaining rest of the area in Bangalore, it is red zone. Please understand that there is a very likely chances of that you may get this infection. Okay, so protect yourself. But the normal simple measures of protection, you know very well. We have become WhatsApp graduates now. Many of us become WhatsApp graduates. So we know about the COVID and Corona. We know so many things, do's and don'ts. But follow the fact, not the myth and the wrong information. Follow the right information. So very important. Remember important point to be remembered is a Swiss cheese respiratory virus pandemic defense. So please do remember, no layer is perfect. Every layer has got an imperfection. If you are wearing mask, there is a chance that you may get this infection. If you are following respiratory hygiene and hand hygiene also, you may get this infection. If you are following physical distancing also, you may get this infection. If you are vaccinated also, you may get this infection. So no layer is perfect. Each layer is required to prevent this infection to being spread into other people. I'm taking the opportunity of the World Red Cross Day to sensitize on these issues, because very reason is like this is what required for the youth to face the challenges as well as to protect themselves during this such emergency. So please understand that regarding the COVID, please do remember that each layer is important, and get vaccinated. The government is going to give the vaccine very soon for 18 plus, and to register yourself. I will tell you the process of registering also. So protect yourself with all this. Earlier we used to say the only sanitizer, mask and physical distancing. Now it is vaccine also. So vaccine is considered to be the very effective method of prevention and at the same time testing. So remember that if someone is having a symptoms, we just had a session with the KLE college where more than 300 participants were there, and the common question they were asking was they are having a symptoms of cold and cough, whether they need to get tested. So someone has advised no need to get testing done, take paracetamol, take steam inhalation, you will be fine. No, don't do that. If that is a reason, that's the only reason why the number of statistics, the number of people being affected with the COVID is increasing day by day. If you are tested, you will be monitored. If you are tested, you will be provided with a medicine. If you are tested, there is a very likely chances that the infection can be contained at the early level. If you are not tested, you will be under the impression that you have very mild infection, and you may end up with when it is very severe, you report to the hospital. By that time, you may not get a bed also. So please, what I can advise you is, because most common discussion that is happening in the social media is about the COVID. If someone asks you that he is having a symptoms of COVID like cough and fever or probably headache or something like that, you can advise them to get it tested. You take the common home remedies like a steam inhalation or taking kashaya or something like that. You do that, but at the same time you have to get in the testing. The reason why the number of death is increasing, it's only because the people are not reporting when they are getting symptoms. They're not getting tested. Once they get tested, the disease can be controlled. So please do remember that. And why vaccine is important. So before I conclude about the COVID related issues, so vaccination, why it is important. This is important because every day, as per the ICMR and as per the Ministry of Health, among the 4 lakh cases, the new cases that is reported every day, 99% of them have not taken the vaccine, have not taken even 1 dose of vaccine also. So it is very important to take the vaccine, and those who have taken vaccine, 99.5% of them have not got the COVID infection. Only 0.5% of them have got infection, but that doesn't mean that it will be severe. The infection will be mild because there will be antibodies in the body which can contain and control this infection. Okay, so what role you can play as a volunteer in this scenario or in this situation also, I'll be explaining probably in the last slide what role you can play. So why COVID vaccine is important? That is the reason, because COVID vaccination will help you to protect 1 more layer. You will be protected with additional 1 more layer if you are taking vaccine, and it is need to be taken in 2 doses, not a single dose. If you are taking 2 doses, then only you will be getting complete immunity. So first dose after taking, there will be a primary immune response which will be less, followed by 6 to 8 weeks. After 6 to 8 weeks, when you take a second dose of this vaccine, you will be protected for a longer duration, and there should be at 1 more booster dose also that will be given after 1 year. So please do remember and take your parents also. The one good work which you can do during the World Red Cross Day is the best thing what you can do is register at least 5 people at your home, at your neighbor, or among your friends, those who are not taken vaccine, to get vaccinated done. If you are inspiring them to take vaccine, you are saving lives. Please do understand that vaccination is safe. It can prevent this virus from spreading into other people also. Okay, so please do remember that, and 2 doses is very important. And as it was shown, which one during introductory part, so there was a mention about the Covishield and Covaxin. Both the vaccines are equally effective, equally safe. So any vaccines you can take. There is no harm in taking any type of vaccine. Both the vaccines are equally effective. Okay, and before introducing into the public or to the level where 18 plus or those who have crossed 18 years of age can take a vaccine, so much of R&D has been done on the vaccine, so much of trials have been done with the vaccine, and there is an expert committee which is managing at the national level. There is an expert committee at the state level, at the block level also, which is monitoring this. So the reason why I'm explaining that, the reason why I'm explaining about this is, it is not that vaccine is supplied by some agency and it is given to you. There are so much of monitoring is done, so much of surveillance has been done, and so much of trials has been done before the vaccination is given to the public. So don't what I can say, that don't think that the vaccination can cause some side effect. So vaccination, after taking vaccine, there will be mild to moderate pain and a body ache, and there may be sometime fever also, but that is common with any other vaccine. So getting a COVID vaccine, it adds on to another layer of protection. And do take vaccine, protect yourself, protect your family members, and protect your friends also by taking them to the vaccination. Okay, so this is important. There are various types of vaccines: viral vaccine, viral vector vaccine, but I'm not going into the details, the science aspect related to these vaccines, because as I mentioned, this is not about the COVID only. It is about what kind of services you can provide in time of emergency, at the time when there is a crisis like situation now. So these vaccines are developed by virus only, inactivated virus, and these vaccines inactivated by either the radiations or by the heat. These virus will be killed and inactivated. And the dead coronavirus, it cannot replicate, but it can provoke the host immune response also. Okay, so then the registering, as already I think a link has been shared to register. You can register with the CoWIN app or with the Arogya Setu app also. So kindly register, but no need to worry. Only 1.5% of total population so far has taken vaccines. So by the time it reaches to everyone, it may take more time, months together or years together. Have patience and get vaccinated. If you're not getting scheduling done with this month, no need to worry, but protect yourself with other measures of protection. You will get the vaccine and get vaccinated, both the doses of vaccination, and protect yourself. So there is a simple method to, once you register your phone number, there will be an OTP. After the phone verification, you can schedule the inoculation when the vaccine can be given, and download the vaccination certificate. Very important to remember is, so once you get vaccinated, you have to download this certificate, e-certificate, and this certificate is very important. Probably a day will come when you want to travel to some district or some state, probably you may be asked to submit your vaccination certificate. So it is very important. If you are vaccinated, you cannot just orally say that I have taken vaccine. You have to prove it, and please do download this vaccination certificate. If your parents at home have taken the vaccination, they must have received an SMS from the CoWIN app, so saying that they have been vaccinated with the first dose or second dose. Help them to download their certificate and keep that safely, or printed or laminated also. So this is about the vaccination procedure, and the COVID-19 vaccine is safe. We don't have to worry. And in the vaccination center, when you visit, there will be, it is very systematically they have designed it. If you visit the vaccination center, there will be a vaccination officer will be checking your ID, followed by verification in the CoWIN application. Then vaccination will be given to you, and you will be observed for the symptoms for half an hour. If you develop any kind of reaction, immediately there is a kit which will be helping you to control any kind of any anaphylactic reaction. And this is done very systematically, like the election in a election booth, polling booth. So if you visit the vaccination center, you will come to know how systematically the procedure is done. At the same time, I can request is, like, if you want to volunteer your services, you can do that in the COVID vaccination center, because there are hundreds of people who will be visiting to vaccination center who are senior citizens, who may be unable to walk also. You can help them, you can guide them, you can help them register, or you can take them inside the vaccination officer. You can help them to get vaccinated. So if you want to provide some kind of service during this during this COVID pandemic, probably in a high risky area is hospital. So you cannot work there without the PPE, but you can work in a vaccination center. You can volunteer your service. You can express your you want to volunteer your services, and definitely the government will provide you an opportunity with the proper protection, with the proper shield, with a proper probably permission from your parents, you can participate in these activities. It is safe, nothing to be worried. Vaccine is safe. First, I advise you to take vaccine. At the same time, you can volunteer your service in the vaccination center also. Okay. And please do remember that the Red Cross, there are many things about the Red Cross, but the very important part which I'm sensitizing you here is about the COVID and COVID related issues. The very reason why, because we are living with this situation from almost more than a year. The Disaster Management Act of India is in enforcement now. The situation of crisis, again, the government has have sanctioned 10 more days of lockdown, and definitely it is very difficult to stay at home, particularly for the youth. So you can engage in activity, learn new skills during this time. You utilize this time for probably enhancing your skills, enhancing your knowledge, or stay safe at home, protect yourself, take care about your health. So very important point that I was mentioning, the 5 important thing needs to be remembered to prevent the COVID, or what services you can do during the COVID. The first thing is, do not spread any fake information. Do not spread any images that is very disturbing, like dead bodies or cremation, or the fake WhatsApp videos which is circulating, which can create a panic among the people. Don't circulate such without verifying that. Second thing, take care about your health. There may be some smokers, the youth are addicted to the alcohol and smoking, so kindly stay away from that. Both alcohol and smoking is a predisposing factors for the COVID infection. If there is a damage in the already, if there is a damage in the lung, that can further severely damage the lungs and it can cause infection. Okay, so please do remember that, and protect yourself. The second important point is protecting yourself, taking care of yourself. The third important part is like 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours with your family members, and 8 hours the service which you can do by sitting at home. What kind of service? 8 hours you can do that, you can use for entertainment or playing games, watching movies, but rest of 8 hours you can keep it for enhancing your skills, enhancing your knowledge, or probably for service related activities. There are so many helplines which are coming up to provide services related to ambulance, related to hospital, related to the vaccination. There are so many activities which is going on. We are living in a warlike situation now, and everyone has to respond. So I call upon the Youth Red Cross volunteers to be active volunteers and volunteer your services at your family. You can support somebody if there are senior citizens, your grandparents at home. If they need a medicine, you can get that medicine. If they need something, you don't ask them to go outside and get it. So there is a risk, there is a chances that the people who are aged above 70 years of age, they may be prone to this infection because already their immunity will be less. So help them, help the senior citizens at your community by providing them medicines or providing whatever the essential things they need during this lockdown time. See, lockdown is a kind of a crisis. It's not that it is what I can say, it can bring smiles in faces. Well, not that everyone enjoy the holiday. So a one day holiday is fine. So every day cannot be a Sunday. So we cannot stay at home for a very long duration. So it will definitely kind of a what I can say psychological reactions. So learn how to stay at home and learn how to probably help others and to volunteer your services to help others. So thank you very much for inviting me for this program. And about the Red Cross, as you know, Red Cross is an organization which is there across the world, and definitely you can be a part of the Red Cross even after completion of your graduation. After completion, now you are a part of Youth Red Cross unit, and this is the only college where I have found that the Youth Red Cross committee members are hosting this program. And I was surprised when some of the Youth Red Cross members approached me for this program, because
Yes.
most of the, yes, sir, it is very good thing, sir, and very appreciable that the leadership skills will come in them and volunteerism will come in. They learn these skills by doing this. So
Yes.
thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me for this program. And if anybody is having any questions related to the Red Cross movement, or related to the vaccination, or related to the COVID, you can please do ask that.
Dear participants, do you have any questions? You can post it in the chat box if you have any questions.
Ma'am, I would like to ask question.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
Um, Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, apart from
Yeah,
taking
please.
COVID test, what is the reason behind the so many death cases in India? Is it due to the COVID or due to the lack of facilities in the hospital?
Okay. I didn't got the first part of your question. Kindly repeat your question.
No, sir. Like apart from taking COVID test, like some people they'll be at home only taking,
Yeah.
like being in isolation. Apart from that, like what
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
reason
Yeah. Yeah.
behind so many
Yeah.
cases?
Yeah. Okay. The first thing, the cause of the death is due to probably psychologic. It's more of a fear that is created in a person. Midnight around 3 o'clock, I got a call from one of my friend who was at a hospital admitted at MS Ramaya, and he was tested positive 3 days before. He was a young, energetic person, around 30 plus, a software professional. But yesterday night when he was called, he was crying and asking me the help, asking me to shift him to the ICU. When I asked what problem you have, when I spoke to the doctor said, no, sir, he is fine. His CT score is fine. He's completely fine. But looking at others, he's so afraid now. He's feeling that he's going to die. So it is happening not only with him, it is happening with everyone. So the kind of the psychology that the people are, the fear that generating because of by looking at the others, when they are admitted to the hospital, they are all alone for almost 7 days because family members are not allowed inside there, and there will be people with the PPE kit who will be doing the work, they will be providing a medical assistance, they will be providing a treatment, but there will not be anyone, a close family members or a close friend to take care of them. So that definitely, by seeing others, definitely can aggravate the condition. That could be the one reason. Second, the double mutant strain is a very tough strain, and it is very difficult for the medical people or to also to understand what exactly is happening and how to contain this. Even the remdesivir was considered not considered to be effective. Now oxygen only is the medicine or the remedy for the present infection. There is a lack of oxygen in the various parts of the country. That is also contributing factor to the death. And one more thing that is contributing factor to the escalating number of death that has been reported compared to other cases. The mortality rate is not high. It is not even 1% of the number of affected, but the mortality rate is comparatively it is less compared to other countries. But the people who are dying are not elderly people. The people who are dying are youngsters, are probably aged between 40 to 50, mid-age. So the reason why, definitely they need a counseling. But who has to do the counseling? This is a typical condition where a counselor, a psychological counselor, cannot do the counseling for so many hundreds of people who have been admitted to the hospital. So counseling will build their confidence to face this infection. So that may be the one of the reason. And the other reason that is related to the particularly this COVID infection is any viral disease. It is very difficult to treat. Any viral disease, it is very difficult to treat. And this particular virus is changing its strain every year, and that could be one of the contributing factor. And most of the people who are reporting to the hospital are reporting late. They are not reporting during initial infection. If they report initial infection to the hospital, they will not hospitalize them. They will check them. They will give them advice. They will give them medicines. They will monitor them. And if it required, they will hospitalize. But most of the people are taking self-medication. In the WhatsApp, if you see that, all the medicine which is given commonly to a COVID patient is mentioned. They are taking corticosteroid without the advice of the doctor. They are taking remdesivir injection without the advice of the doctor. They are using the oxygen concentrator at home without the advice of doctor. So all these things they are doing by themselves, that also could be one of the reason for the increasing number of death. But recovery rate also is very high in our country, and number of cases tested positive is high. The death is not that high. So 4 lakh death yesterday. It is around 4,000 death, 4 lakh cases positive yesterday, and 4,000 death was reported. yesterday. So that's around 1% of the total number of tested positive. So death rate is not that high, but the chances of getting infection is very high. Yeah.
So there's a question from one of the participants.
Okay. In the chat box.
Yes. Can you
Yeah.
suggest techniques to stay at home and also be positive?
Okay, the best technique to stay at home is you have to understand that you are staying with your family members, your loved ones. You are not staying in a jail. So please understand that. I don't know why people are finding so difficulty to stay at home. For us, I don't know, like when we will get such a chance to stay at home. During the last lockdown also, we were working 24/7. During this lockdown also, we are working 24/7. And if someone gives us a leave, or if someone probably if we get a leave to stay at home, we will be the happiest person in this world. So enjoy your stay at home. So the aim, your home is the probably I can say a place where you can be in a green zone where there is a very less chance of getting infection. But how to stay at home is you can learn new skill. I said you can sleep for 8 to 10 hours. There is no harm in sleeping for more time. It will improve your immunity. It will stay away from the news channel. Don't watch the news channel. News channel is required for the disaster responders or first responders like me and other people who are working the field. We need a statistics. We need the information regarding what's happening where. But don't watch the news. It is not for you. Whatever the information it's giving in the news channel, it's not for you. And definitely it will create a panic-like situation in your family regarding the present scenario. So staying at home, various activities you can involve, and online activities also. Read the books. This is a time to read books. I don't know how many of you have developed the reading habit. And most of the, what I can say, the good speakers or the good leaders in our country are the good readers also. So I don't know whether you get a time, probably now it's a semester system, and hardly you get the time to read all the books thoroughly. By the time you read and complete, examination will come and you go to the next semester, you start reading next book. Not only the book, you can read the interesting novels, you can read interesting story books. So reading is a very good habit. You can this habit you can start doing that during this lockdown. So that's one of the good habit. Yeah.
So we have a few more questions. So can we take them?
Yeah. So there is one more, sir. Can I know what has been your best experience so far? Okay, I will share with that. So there is one more question. A few days ago, the changes in the climate, I've seen a lot of people suffering with the COVID-related symptoms. Yes, due to the variation in the weather or climate, there are so many people who are suffering with cold and cough. That is again a viral infection, not a COVID. But there is a very likely chances that they may get a COVID also if they go outside. So if you are having cold and cough like flu-like symptoms, stay at home. Or if the fever is more than 100 degree, you can report to the flu clinic or flu corner at any hospital. So now almost all hospital have got a flu clinic. It's not COVID care or it's not COVID testing. In the flu clinic, they will give you the medicine. They don't do the testing of COVID. If it is required, they will advise you for the testing. It is not mandatory. It is voluntarily. It's not that compulsory you have to get in the testing. Visit the flu clinic, okay? And nothing to worry about that. And you can take the basic measures like steam inhalation, warm salt water gargling, and controlling your diet also. Practice a good food hygiene, good food habits. That's a very important thing. And there is one more question. If the first dose is Covaxin, can the individual take a second dose of Covishield? No, both are different type of vaccines. Both are different type of vaccine, and these vaccines cannot be mixed. One is a viral vaccine, the other one is a viral vector vaccine. So it cannot be mixed. If someone has taken Covaxin in the first dose, he has to take the Covaxin in the second dose also. And one more question, whether COVID is airborne? Yes, it is airborne for few seconds, not for hours. It is airborne for few minutes. If someone is having a symptoms of COVID, cough, and if someone, a COVID positive person, if he is sneezing and coughing, this virus, before it lands on the ground or on the surface, it will be floating, it will be there in the air for few moments or few minutes. So that is one of the probably one of the what I can say the factor that is mentioned by WHO also, and really it is a very shocking one that it is airborne. So it is airborne means to say it will not stay for hours together. It can stay for minutes before it drops on a particular surface and it becomes inactive. Earlier we used to clean the surfaces also. Now the WHO clarified that there is no need to clean the surface. On the surface it will not be viable. The virulence of this vaccine will be reduced once it falls on a surface. Okay. There is one more
Awareness
question. Children
could be taken for asymptomatic is also one of the questions. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, madam. Awareness can be taken for the asymptomatic cases.
What,
okay.
Yeah. So what are the
What
awareness?
awareness?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the asymptomatic cases, if they have tested positive, they will be asked to stay at home. The basic thing they need to practice is there are 5 medicines that will be given, including zinc and vitamin C. And these tablets they have to take, and for 5 to 7 days. Along with that, they need to self-isolate from the rest of the family members. They need to be separate utensils, separate everything. They need to keep separate. That should not be mixed. And remaining family members also should wear the mask at home. And the person who has been tested positive also should wear the mask. And there are various helplines that will be displayed. If someone is having a doubt related to their infection or related to the condition, and so they can definitely call the helpline number and clarify their doubts. So regarding awareness of this infection, so nothing to be worried, nothing to be afraid of. Take care about your health, and there are immune boosters which are available. Natural immune boosters are there. There are natural medicines are available, Ayurvedic medicines which can boost the immunity of a person, that also can be taken. Okay, so there is one more question: is a CT scan harmful? And because many people are going for directly to the CT scan before the COVID test. Yes, CT scan is definitely harmful. It is equivalent to taking a 800 chest X-rays. Already one expert and a radiologist has mentioned that. And it is very dangerous to go for a CT directly without any symptoms. Okay, if you are having a symptomatic, if your test of RT-PCR is tested negative, if the doctor finds that yes, CT scan need to be done, they do the CT scan. And CT scan cannot find the virus. It can find only the lesions inside the lungs, and that can be probably that can be based on that they will give a score, CT score, and based on the CT score it is being categorized into mild, moderate, and severe. Okay, then there was one more question whether it is airborne, that I have answered already.
Sir,
and what are the awareness that could be
years,
taken?
Sorry, sir. Children below 18 years, what about the vaccination? Is it tested is one of the questions. Is it effective?
Presently, the vaccination below 18 years of age is not advised. In rest of the world also, vaccination for below 18, there are much more trial need to be done before it is introduced to the children. But there are concern about the third wave, and the third wave, the concern about the third wave is like the people are afraid that there is a speculation that it may affect the the children below the age of 12, below the age of 18. But this is only a speculation. It is not been mentioned by either the WHO or the Ministry of Health. So no need to be worried about that. But vaccination is not effective, and it is not advised for children below the age of 18 years. Okay, so there is one more question, like how long the droplet remain in the surface? Minutes, probably a minute. So there is one more question. Some people are afraid of taking vaccine. What is your opinion? Yes, I have already mentioned vaccine is completely safe. There is no negative impact. The people who are taking medicines for the blood pressure or diabetes also can take a vaccine. People on the blood thinning drugs or the aspirin, they also can take the vaccine. It is safe. Only pregnant and lactating mothers are need to postpone their vaccination. So rest of them, the bedridden, if someone is bedridden due to illness, he cannot take vaccine. If someone has tested COVID positive recently, he cannot take the vaccine up to 28 days. After 28 days of recovering from illness, he can take a vaccine. Okay, there is one more question of experience, right? I will definitely share that. Is it safe to take vaccine? Does it affect health? No. Okay. Right. Regarding my experiences, one of the best experience which I can remember, it's all painful, I can say, not the best experiences. These are all, I can say, worst experiences, because we work in a situation of a disaster where there is no food, no water, no shelter. So we are supporting others, but the team sometimes may go out with the water, may go out with the food for working in the field. So the best experience which I can remember is way back from 2013, that is in Uttarakhand, and we were deployed to Pithoragarh district, that is in the bordering the Nepal and China. So this particular district is having probably the base point for the Kailas Manas Sarovar Yatra, and there were many pilgrims or many probably the tourists who were trapped there due to the landslides and due to the flood-like situation. And we had to walk almost 20 kilometers a day because road was completely breached. There was no facility to reach. We had to cross the hill. We had to walk 20 to 30 kilometers to reach to a particular destination, and we had to stay in the camps. And there is no electricity, no telephone connectivity, only satellite phones are allowed. That too, our teams, the disaster response teams and the army members only can use the satellite phones. No other people will be having an access with the satellite phone. And there are very interesting, I can say, painful experiences from the disaster field in the past. The one more experience which I can share from is from the Odisha during the Foni cyclone 2-3 years before. And when I visited Odisha, it was completely dark. The capital Bhubaneswar completely dark. There was no power supply for more than 10 days in Bhubaneswar, the capital. Only the airport was supported with the power supply. And living in that condition without having a power, how to recharge your mobile? There is no connectivity, no mobile tower. So that is one part. Nowadays, the people can live without food and water, but they cannot live without their mobile. So if you don't have a network connectivity, if you don't have a power, it is not possible for us to live. We are addicted to these things. So that is one part. And working in the field in Odisha, the people are so hungry, they start attacking our vehicles in search of the food and water, because Red Cross emblem will be putting on the vehicle. They think that we'll be carrying a lot of relief materials. They have looted our vehicle. We have plenty of videos which can show that they have looted our vehicle. We can't blame them because they are hungry. They are not having a food for more than 2 days. And they have to walk for many kilometers to get a pure drinking water. And if you visit Uttar Pradesh, most backward districts of UP, the Barabanki and Gonda, so people live in a very pathetic conditions there. We are all blessed to born and live in Karnataka, where the climatic conditions and the geographical conditions are very safe. At the same time, it is like a heaven, the temperature also here. So considering that, there are very painful experiences from the past, definitely, but I cannot probably briefly mention that in this webinar. But what I can advise you, the satisfaction what you get after serving a society is very great. I'm a volunteer in Red Cross. I'm a doctor by profession doing my practice, but volunteer my service. Since I'm a DM member, disaster management team member, will as a TL, as a team leader, will be deployed. But if you are a part of such service, definitely it gives you a lot of confidence. It gives you a lot of satisfaction of helping others. And you also can become a volunteer in disaster management, or if you can donate the blood. Before vaccination, it is advised to donate the blood, and there is a lack of blood in the blood banks, but the number of accidents have not came down. Please do remember, in the last 1 year, more than 160,000 people have died due to the road accident. And each case of road accident, if there is an injured, he needs more than 4 to 5 units of blood. And blood cannot be manufactured in an industry. It cannot be manufactured, prepared in a laboratory. Somebody needs to give it. So situation of road accident is still there. Last 1 year, we have seen 268,000 deaths due to COVID, 160,000 deaths due to the road accident. We are so much concerned about COVID. Nobody is bothered about the road accidents. Nobody wants to help also the people during road accidents. So please do learn first aid procedures, and as a Youth Red Cross team, you have a very good team of Youth Red Cross interested volunteers. I advise you to learn the first aid skills, and that will help to save a life in case of emergency. During the last year lockdown, there was one case reported. Like one vehicle lost the control in Udupi district and it has fallen in a river. And the locals could able to take out, rescue the people who are drowned in the water, but they didn't know what first aid measure to be done. And there was a one girl who is studying in 10th standard, who was passing by that road, and she could intervene and could able to provide a cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. So this CPR, it's a mouth-to-mouth breathing along with the chest compression which she provided, could able to save one life. 3 people died in that incident, and one lady survived in that incident due to the CPR provided by that student. And that student, when she was asked where she learned the skill, she said that I'm an NCC student, I've been taught with this first aid. So it is very important to remember that first aid, learning first aid will help you to save life. You also can be a part of the blood donation. You also can be a part of the volunteering service in various other activity. Okay, thank you. So any other questions, sir? If someone having asthma problem using inhaler, is it safe to take COVID vaccine? There is one. Yeah, sorry, I took more time for the earlier question. So there is a question that if someone is having asthma, can he take a vaccine? No and yes also. No means to say if you say this to the vaccination center, they will not give the vaccine, but it is not contraindicated. Asthma is not contraindicated. You need to take a physician opinion before going for vaccination center. If your physician, the physician says that okay, you are taking asthma is under control, you can take vaccine, definitely can take vaccine. Okay, so then
so there is also a question on can the heart patients take the vaccination?
Yes, they can take if they are not bedridden, if they are not recently undergone angioplasty or bypass surgery in the last 6 months, they can take vaccination. Those who are on blood thinning drugs also, they can take vaccination. Mattondu prashne ide, tumba jana COVID anta gottillದೆ ಕೂಡಲೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, I think this question I have already answered. COVID ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರುಗಳು ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಬಂದಿರಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಭಯದಿಂದ ಬಳಲ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್. ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯವರು ಯಾರು ಅಲ್ಲ. ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕುಟುಂಬವರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಪ್ತ ಮಿತ್ರರು ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂಗ್ ಧೈರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸುದ್ದಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ ದೆಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇವರಲ್ಲೇ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಂತೆ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಂತೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸುಮ್ಮನಾಗಬೇಡಿ. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ದೆಮ್, ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದೆಮ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ವರಿಡ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಮೈಲ್ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಐಸೋಲೇಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ತುಂಬಿ ಅವರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಗಳೇನಿದೆ? Heart patients in that too. Any other questions? Second dose.
Your
okay.
best experience.
Yeah, I have already shared. The time is actually a constraint here, so I cannot share all my experience. I have been deployed to more than 10 disaster-like situations in the country, and I have worked in almost all states and almost all districts of Karnataka, all states of India during disaster. Day and night we have worked. Our team has worked, and I am thankful to the volunteers who have worked, who have supported. I can remember in Manipur, when I was working 2 years before in Manipur, northeastern states in Impal, we were supported with almost 20 students from Manipal University, and they are all youth Red Cross members like you, and who were supporting us, means to say in participating in all activities of providing food, water, medicine to other people, and they have worked with us for weeks together. And that is very wonderful thing. And youth, the energy, the enthusiasm they have to provide service is great, and that need to be channelized, and definitely that can be used for good cause. Okay, this question is repeatedly coming. Because of the weather change, if the people are having symptoms of COVID and doctor had advised a test, people will not test because they cure all the symptoms, and people have to test for the COVID because of their, okay. Okay, this question I think I have already answered. What I advise you, if you have symptoms of COVID, there is a pandemic outbreak in Karnataka state particularly, and it has gone up to the level of community transmission. So in this situation, if someone gets some symptoms of COVID, get tested. There is no harm in testing done, and not all the tests will be positive. Okay, I got tested more than 3 times for RT-PCR. I will be roaming around to various other districts for monitoring various activities which is going on. I have tested. I undergone for the RT-PCR test many a times, but never it came positive for me. So don't be worried that if someone is tested with RT-PCR, that the test will come positive. No, it will not come positive. If it is really the person is having COVID, it will come. Okay. Okay. So any other questions are there?
Last question. How about sugar and BP patients? Is it safe to take vaccine?
Yes, definitely, madam. It is safe. Recently, one of the vaccination center which I visited, I was curious to know the senior citizens who are standing, who are sitting there in a queue, curious to know about their health issues. I was just having a chat with them to understand their problems, to understand like what are the various medical conditions they are. And they were telling they are already vaccinated with the first dose of the vaccine, and they are having conditions like BP and sugar. It's very common for a senior citizen to have a BP or a diabetic condition. It is safe. Many thousands of people with a diabetes, thousands of people with hypertension have already taken vaccine. No reaction, nothing has happened to them. They are all safe, they are all fine, and they are all happy that they have taken vaccine, and they are waiting for the second dose of the vaccination. So they can take definitely these vaccines.
I hope the questionnaire session is ended. Is there any other question anyone wants to ask?
Sir, last question.
Kelly.
ಸರ್, ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮೋಟಿವ್ ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಪೇಷಂಟಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬೇಕು, ಬಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್?
ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗಳಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಕೋ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರ್ಲಿ 8 ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ HIV, ಹೆಪಟೈಟಿಸು, ಕಾಲರಾ, ಮಲೇರಿಯಾ ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಂತವಾಗಿದೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ವೈರಾಣು ಇಲ್ಲ, ರೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಆಗುವಂತ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇನೆ ಹಿಮೋಫಿಲಿಯಾ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸು, ಬ್ಲೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. BPL ಇರೋರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ BPL ಕಾರ್ಡ್, ಬಿಲೋ ಪಾವರ್ಟಿ ಲೈನ್ ಇರೋರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ನೀಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದವರಿಗೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಂತ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ನ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಕೂಡ. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೂ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವೀನ್ ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಸಮನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೋರ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಬ್ಲಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈಗ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ರಿಕವರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರಿಂದ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಸಮನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕೋವಿಡ್, ಹಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೊನೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್, ದಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹಾಗೆ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆದವರು ಅಥವಾ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಸದಸ್ಯರಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಜೀವ ಉಳಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹತ್ತಿರದ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಈಗ 5 ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಥರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ರೆಡ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾವನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಸಂಜನಾ ಅವರು ಕೇಳಿದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಮನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಈಗಂತೂ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಜೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಜೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನ ರಿಯೇಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ 1 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು 1200 ರಿಂದ 1800 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ RT-PCR ಗೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ನಿಗೆ ಅದು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸೇಫ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಕೆಲವು ಕಾಯಿಲೆಗಳು ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ನಿಗೆ ಹರಡ್ಬೋದು. ಮೊದಲು ನೀವು ಫಿಲಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಬೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ದ, ಈ ಸೈಡ್ ನಿಂದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬಾಟಲ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನ ಅವರು ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬ್ಲಡ್. ಇಟ್ ಕನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟು ದ ಎನಿ ದ ಪೇಷಂಟ್.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the reality check,
Okay.
immense positivity, and all the information. We were very much in need of this. Thank you. We are happy to see active participation by our members too. On this day, we pledge to do something good for the society. Here is your opportunity. We will now be sharing a link in the chat box. This is the link of Organ India, where you can pledge your organs and it will be really helpful for the needy in the future. This Red Cross Day, let's not limit our services. Let our services be unstoppable. Those interested can fill up the forms. Every end is a new beginning to something amazing. I request Amrita to propose the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to one and all gathered on this virtual platform. I am Amrita, Office Bearer of Youth Red Cross Committee. We take this golden opportunity to thank the respected speaker of this event, Dr. Kumar VLS sir, for accepting our invitation in his busy schedule. In conducting the webinar, we will promise to cultivate the advice you gave us in real life. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar sir, not only for spending his time with us today, but also for encouraging us to achieve many endeavors. I extend my gratitude to all the HODs of various departments, including languages and the coordinators. It's my pleasure to thank the convener of Youth Red Cross, Vidya ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for supporting us to make this event success. Special thanks to Dr. Pratima ma'am, Gokul sir, Nandini ma'am, Vandana ma'am, Dr. Vinay sir, all teaching and non-teaching staff for their constant support. Last but not least, I thank my fellow students and members of Youth Red Cross for enthusiastically arranging and participating in this event, without whom the event wouldn't be a success. I thank one and all wholeheartedly. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
Amrita.
Thank you, sir.
Final reminder to all the students to please fill the feedback forms that will be sent to your email. And remember, those who fill the feedback forms will only be receiving their e-certificates. Here, I mark the end of this webinar. Thank you all for making this a successful one. Hope we all meet up soon. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.